Dr. Albert Crane was once a respected dentist, known for his gentle touch and caring demeanor. But after a series of unfortunate events, he lost all of his teeth, and with them, his career. He became bitter and resentful, blaming the world for his misfortune. Unable to find work, Albert retreated into his secret bunker where he had set up a makeshift dental clinic. His patients, or rather, his victims, were usually people who had no money or insurance to get their dental work done. They were desperate and vulnerable, easy prey for the deranged ex-dentist. Once they were strapped to the chair, Albert would pull out his tools, including a pair of rusty pliers, and get to work. The patients would scream in agony as he mercilessly ripped out their teeth, ignoring their pleas for mercy. He would savor the sound of their suffering, relishing in the power he held over them. As he continued his twisted practice, Albert's appearance began to change. His skin turned a sickly pale, and he started to dress in all white, wrapping himself in bandages like a mummy. His victims called him the Tooth Ghost, a name that struck fear in the hearts of anyone who knew of his existence. Despite the increasing number of missing persons reports, Albert was able to continue his reign of terror undetected. That was until a young woman named Jennifer stumbled upon his bunker while exploring the woods. Jennifer had heard rumors of the Tooth Ghost and had become obsessed with finding him. When she saw the horrors that lay before her, Jennifer knew she had to act fast. But as she tried to untie the patients, she heard a noise behind her. It was Albert, and he was furious. As Jennifer turned around, she saw Albert standing in front of her, his bandaged face contorted with rage. She could see the madness in his eyes, and she knew she was in danger. Albert lunged towards her, grabbing her by the throat and pulling her close to him. "You shouldn't have come here," he hissed. "Now you're going to pay the price." Jennifer's heart was racing, and she struggled to break free from his grip. She could feel his bony fingers digging into her flesh, leaving bruises on her neck. She tried to scream, but her voice was choked by his grasp. As she fought for her life, Jennifer noticed something strange. The bandages on Albert's face were coming undone, revealing what lay underneath. She gasped in horror as she saw that his face was covered in scars and gashes, a testament to the horrors he had inflicted on himself. Suddenly, Jennifer had an idea. She dug her nails into one of the wounds on Albert's face, causing him to release his grip on her. She scrambled to her feet and ran towards the door, but Albert was hot on her heels. As she ran through the dark corridors of the bunker, Jennifer could hear Albert's wheezing breath behind her. She knew she had to find a way out before it was too late. Finally, she reached the entrance, but the door was locked. She frantically searched for the key, but it was nowhere to be found. She turned around and saw Albert approaching her with a sickening grin on his face. "Game over," he said. But then, Jennifer noticed something else. There was a ventilation shaft above her head, just big enough for her to crawl through. She quickly climbed up and squeezed through the narrow opening, leaving Albert behind. As she emerged from the other end of the ventilation shaft, Jennifer realized that she had made it out alive. She stumbled out of the woods and collapsed onto the ground, gasping for air. She knew that she had narrowly escaped the clutches of the Tooth Ghost, but as Sarah looked up, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Standing in front of her was Albert, his bandages soaked with blood and his eyes filled with fury. "You can't escape me," he snarled. "I'll always be here, waiting for my next victim." Jennifer screamed in terror as Albert advanced towards her, his pliers at the ready. She knew that this was it. She closed her eyes, bracing herself for the pain. To this day, Jennifer's fate remains unknown. Some say that she managed to escape, while others believe that she fell victim to the Tooth Ghost. But one thing is for sure. The legend of the Tooth Ghost lives on, striking fear into the hearts of anyone who dares to venture into the woods. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button